I'm about to show you what I did to install a ladder on the back of my travel trailer. Our travel trailer was not blocked for a ladder. I checked with the manufacturer about it, and they said, no, it is not. And I saw a video on YouTube where someone was doing some water damage repair, and he showed what kind of material they use for blocking, and it's not confidence inspiring anyway. So I decided to buy this Stromberg Carlson LA 401 ladder. You notice it doesn't match any of the black on our trailer, and I didn't realize there's a black version of it, but it's $100 more, so who cares? Anyway, the way I installed it is I used steel straps right here, stretched between the edge stud and the first stud. I was originally going to put it between these two studs, but it's safer this way because of the placement of the vents on my roof. I wouldn't have to stand so close to the edge. So what I did is I used this little stack of magnets, little neodymium magnets. There's 7 of them here wrapped with red tape. I used to have one wrapped in black, but it disappeared. It's hard to see. But the way these aluminum walled travel trailers are assembled, they use staples into the studs. And you can run a magnet right under the lap joint, and then when it sticks, you found a stud. It may not be the center of the stud, but there will be a stud there. And you can check this way. And I did some measuring. Using the materials in the storage compartment, I found out, and confirming with Forest River, that the materials they use for the studs are 1.5-inch square, also known as 2x2s. That's the same material that was used for framing. And when I did a little measuring from the low points in the siding, where it's corrugated, that dimension subtracted from this dimension gives me about 3/4 of an inch. So there should be another 3/4 of an inch here to attach to. So I drilled through the steel strap, attached it, did the same thing over here, right in the center of the stud. Unfortunately, I bought this material before I'd actually confirmed this measurement. So I had to use pieces of ABS plastic cut to size, put behind it with double stick tape, and drilled through. I was originally going to use countersunk screws from the back and nuts to hold it together. But with the spacing created by this ABS plastic, I could use panhead screws, simpler, no countersinking necessary. So once this was all installed, I put caulking behind each piece and screwed it to the trailer, and the standoffs I'd already attached. There was a bit of a process trying to figure out how to put this ladder together, because originally this came down to here, about to here or here, with a step in this place. And by their instructions, you're supposed to put the standoffs between the top 2 rungs on each section. That would be here on the original bottom piece and here on the original top piece, which this is. But that would have put it right on top of my brake light, which I did not want. So I cut it off the bottom of the upper piece and then cut the bottom off the lower piece to fit. There's several ways you can do the step. You can use the original flanged piece that these parts went over and attach it the same way as this to the wall on another strap. But this is the part that bears almost all the weight. And I'm pushing the limits of this ladder as it is, their claimed weight capacity. So I wanted to mount it to the bumper to give it more support. Unfortunately, the bumper doesn't stick out far enough to rest the ladder on it. I checked a few different ideas, and unfortunately the piece I had made by a machinist I know, he made it half an inch too short. So I had to get rid of my original plan of using a pipe flange, the round piece with 4 holes that you would use to like make a railing or something. And I used some 3/4 inch ABS plastic, and I drilled a 1 inch hole into it to within a 1/4 inch of the bottom and finished the hole through. That way any water that gets in through the ladder, from above or around here, would be able to drain out on this diamond plate that I put on top. Now it can be done with just a piece of 3/4 inch, 3/16 or 1/4 inch steel or 1/4 inch aluminum, or perhaps a 2 by 2 inch square tube bolted to the bumper to rest it on, or even a 1/4 inch or 3/16 inch thick 2 inch by 2 inch angle. This is 18 inches long from here to here. It's attached to the bumper in 2, 4, and a 5th place underneath. If you can see that. I put all of the fasteners right near the edge. That way, if you store your sewer hose inside the tube like most people do, inside the bumper, none of the fasteners will contact the hose and damage it. Now, since there's no blocking in this, there's no blocking in the roof either. I took the trim ring off one of the vents in the roof to see the structure inside. I could get dimensions of the trusses, and I could tell that the top of it was covered with 7/16 OSB. That's oriented strand board, like plywood, the stuff that looks like wood chips. And I checked on a scrap piece I had from another project by driving a screw into it and pilot drilling a hole. And the one that was pilot drilled pulled out with a hammer, claw hammer, very easily. So I went for driving the screw directly in, pulling it out, and then putting sealant underneath this little bracket, and screwing it down again after putting sealant under the head of the screw as well. Then went around the bracket with more sealant. Because the roof is sloped, I slotted this bracket so the angle that this would rest at would be compensated for with a screw coming straight through. I had to shorten this one about over 1/2 inch. And if you have half a brain, you can figure out how much to shorten it and do all this pretty easily. I had to figure this out over several evenings preparing to do this, and this is what I came up with. To fasten the 2 sections together, they provide you with this hinge. It's meant to be used if you have a trailer with a back that comes down like this, so you can angle it. And if you're not using that, they say to put this in like this with the hinge sideways. But this fits in the tube so loosely, even after you drill through, it's still a little wobbly. So instead, on top of this, I cut this with the intention of doing this. I put a piece of 1/2 inch pipe, plumbing pipe, inside, and I wrapped some wraps of electrical tape here, 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 and here. And the pipe is about 6 inches long. And then I drilled through and put the bolts in on both sides, and it is very sturdy. It's almost as sturdy as the entire ladder itself. So those are just some of the ideas I came up with to do this. The bottom is the hardest part. You can do the same thing I did here to attach the bottom if you'd prefer to use what's provided. So anyway, that's what I did. Now that I'm done with this video, I'm going to seal this up, make sure no water can get in, and that ought to do it. I hope this has been helpful. I found no video like this on YouTube, so I thought at least someone can benefit from my my work. Anyway, hope you liked it. Bye-bye.